On the night of the 29th of December, 1876, an iron railway bridge in Ohio gave way under a train in a blizzard. The Pacific Express was running west from Buffalo towards Chicago through heavy snow. The wind was gusting to 54 miles an hour and piling drifts across the line. By the time it reached Ashtabula, it was nearly 2 hours behind. The bridge was a Howe truss, a design worked out for timber, built here entirely in iron. The load passed through cast iron blocks like that one, at every joint. The longest span reached 154 feet, 76 feet above the river. It had been designed by the railway's own president, a man who was not a bridge engineer, over the objections of those who were. The train crossed at 10 to 15 miles an hour, 1,000 feet out from the station. The leading locomotive got across. The driver felt the train drag behind him and opened the throttle. The second locomotive and every carriage went into the gorge. This is the wreck drawn from above, a few weeks later. The stoves that were keeping the passengers warm set the wooden carriages alight in the riverbed. Those still alive in it were dead within about 20 minutes. 92 of the 160 people aboard were killed. Many of them were never identified. A civil engineer examined the wreckage and drew what he found at the joints. His finding named the piece and the floor inside it.
The cast iron angle block at top of second set of braces had the south lug broken off close to the face, and the line of fracture disclosed an air hole extending over one-half the entire section. The failure first began in the south truss, at the second panel point from the west abutment.
The block that failed had a void through half its cross-section, cast into it and invisible from outside. The inquest also found the diagonals had been turned 90 degrees from the way the design called for. The bridge had stood for 11 years, and had been inspected by men who had no way of seeing inside the castings. The railway's chief engineer, Charles Collins, who had built it to his president's design, took his own life 2 years later. Among the dead was Philip Bliss, who wrote hymns, including one called Hold the Fort. The unidentified were buried together, under a monument that says so. The men who had to build it said it was wrong, and the man who owned the railway had drawn it himself. Who tells the owner of the company that his design will not hold?